Hi, I'm Lynn.
And hi, I'm Leslie.
And we're here today to show you the new Accuquilt Go Big 10-inch square die.
That is a big die. It's pretty exciting.
It is really exciting. This is a great shape. So now you can cut your own 10-inch squares with your favorite fabrics.
And that's a hard shape to cut out, so I can go through my collection and make all kinds of squares.
That's right. And this is also, I've used this size square before for applique backgrounds. That seems like a good, it's a great size, and I can put a quilt top together pretty quickly.
Yeah. And a 10 is a really good common division block for designing all kinds of patterns.
And what we're going to do today is we are going to show you the pattern that comes with the 10-inch square die, and it's right behind us. It's called the Quatrefoil Squared. And this is the block that we're just going to talk about how to piece that together. And so should we go ahead and get started?
Let's get started.
Okay, so this is the Go Big electric cutter. These Go Big dies only fit in the electric cutter. All the other Go dies also work with the Go Big cutter.
So cool, I can use all the dies in the lineup.
That's right. And so because it's electric, we have to turn it on.
Okay.
But otherwise, all the rules apply when you're cutting with Go dies. So you can you can cut up to 6 layers of 100% cotton fabric, and you want to make sure that, especially with these geometric shapes, that you're cutting on the lengthwise grain as it runs through the cutter.
And that's because of the stretch of the fabrics.
That's right. And so with if you have your selvage edge on your fabric, rule of thumb is that if the selvage edge is facing towards your belly button or towards you, that's a good way to think about it. The other way is if you just tug the fabric one way or the other, you'll get a bit of stretch on the crosswise grain versus the lengthwise grain will be the tough pull. That's what you want going this way through the cutter. And then the other thing you want to keep in mind is that you can fan fold your fabric before you cut. So if you cut a width of strip piece of fabric, just leave about a ½ inch the width of the shape, and then you can just layer your fabric right over that shape using the two-tone foam as your guide.
And that's nice that we have the two foam tone, because it shows us now the edges, so you can do that real easily.
Yes, it's very easy to see, and then you control then how much fabric that you put across that die. And then we just place our mat on top.
And that's a bigger mat.
Right, it's for the Go Big dies. And then you just start it going, and as that's working, what's great about the Go Big cutter, I can start getting the next die ready as that's going. And we do have circles. This is the Go Big new circle die. So we have circles with this pattern. So we're going to go ahead and get this set up. And we're going to use the 8-inch circle. And with this one, we are pre-fusing our fabric. So with pre-fused fabric, you can cut up to 4 layers of cotton fabric at a time. And so you're just going to layer that over your shape that you want to cut. And then with this one, we're going to do a little bit different. You can use any size mat as long as the shape that you want to cut is covered.
So the mat doesn't have to cover the other pieces.
Okay, so then we'll let that run through. And then the other shape with this pattern is your 5-inch square. So we're not going to actually cut this, but we're going to show how that works with the rest of this block. All right, so we've got a little bit of a miscut here, but that's fine. We'll just work with that. I probably just set it on the die wrong. Let me get these out of your way.
Okay.
Okay, so you need this one square.
Yeah. Look at how great, true, and accurate that square is. Isn't that cool? And then we have a circle. And the circle you can do a variety of different lineups. I'm going to play with the print of the fabric, and I can line it up in different ways here to do the design. If I was going to layer lots of circles on top, which is a real normal, another option with the circle dies that are as popular out there, I may not want to fuse. Sometimes I don't do the fusible, so it's not so thick for stitching through with the sewing machine. And for placement then, I just do a basting spray and use that as a sticker, in essence.
That's a great tip. What I love about quilting is that there are always multiple ways to do things.
So we've got the fusible peeled off,
okay.
And let me show you just a trick for positioning so you don't have to measure, because we've saved so much time already in piecing. If I just take my square and fold it in half and a half again, if you just give that a little pressing for us.
Right there?
Yeah, you go up the sides just a little bit. Okay. And so I just marked all my middles of the block without having to do any measuring. And if I fold my circle halfway, I can just line right up there, and we just centered.
That's another great tip. And so then we'll just quickly, we'll press it here to get the fusible to stick.
So in the center of our block, we added then a 6-inch circle and did the same into the center. For the outer edges, we're going to take our circle at this point and cut it in half.
Okay, let me take that from you.
Thank you. Which is another really great use of our rectangles and circles. So I'm just going to lay my cutter on the 5-inch line and cut in half and get our 2 sections, which would just go right on the end there.
So I love this because you've taken 2 shapes, and just by cutting them in half, now that measures exactly with your 5-inch squares. So this really shows the versatility of all of these different dies.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yes.
Pretty.
And so then the next step would be to sew those
our
pieces together.
Yep, so I'm just going to pick them up, and because they just were cut and we haven't done any seaming, they should line up totally perfect.
Okay, I'm going to bring our little ironing board back over here.
Perfect.
And I would think that this is a beginner project, right?
Oh yes, in fact I bet you could even get a quilt done in an evening.
Yeah, so just with the cutting of the Go Big with these larger dies and all the shapes that you can cut in one pass or just a few passes, the quilt top will go together very quickly, and all the pieces are accurately cut.
And this is another project that would be really great for beginners. And another one who, if you just got your sewing machine and you want to try out some of the different stitches, because the machines come with so many great decorative stitches today, that's a fun play to do with tacking down your applique pieces, is to play with all those fun decorative stitches. If you've fused it, you've already got a stabilizer there, so you can just go around the edge to finish that edge and try some of the stitches and play with thread. That's another fun thing too.
That's right. Lots of choices just by changing out the color.
And when you press, you want your top and bottom rows to be one direction and your center row to be the opposite, so your seams interlock.
Right, and I think we've got pressing instructions right in the pattern,
Yes.
So that will help you out. And there we go. So then you just quickly you can pin these edges if you want, and you can finish that block off.
Isn't it cool? And that looks really great in the quilt, but I think it'd make a fun pillow too.
True. Yeah, that's a perfect size.
Size.
At Accuquilt, you cut time
and quilt more.